Hey, it's Daniel Perez for Central Coast Kenpo Karate, and we're back with another Kenpo bang. Back at you, Thundering Hammers today. Going on purple belt, moving our way up. Thundering Hammers, guys. As we know it, some of you guys might know it already. If you're a beginner, I'll walk it through like if you're learning it. So from here, we're going to execute the left inward block as the right punch comes at us here. When we're blocking here with our left leg, knee, this hand is going to be dangling right here. Now, as we shuffle in, we're going to execute like a forearm shot or striking here with this part of the fist right to the rib cage or to the floater wrist. As we do that, we're going to shoot this up and we're going to go to a wide nail stance to check the opponent's height. Check the leg so you don't get hit in the groin. Right? Now I'm going to fold this one up and then hammer fist to the kidney and check the back of the right leg. Same leg is going to be checked. And then from here, this can either push down if the person's head is too high, or it can just roll over as a check to the shoulder and then striking the back of the head with a closed nail stance. Okay, so base technique is pretty simple. Now, when I do this one, it kind of flows just like it should in Kenpo. Your strike should be powerful, dynamic, but have some fluidity in there, right? It's more of a heart style strike, but it's a nice technique that starts to implement zone of sanctuary, you know, things like that, reverse forward motion, all the good stuff, right? So again, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's for Thundering Hammers. Using the stances to break them down and using the upper body to assist that impact, okay? So, I'm gonna go ahead, let's get into some bag work. I'm gonna show you guys how I show my students how to do this with bags and working with stances, stuff like that. Here, this lifting strike. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna take a shield like this, guys. Basic shield. You can use a small target bag too as well. And we're gonna have the students well on this one. Just bam, strike it. So, with that being said, this is gonna help them develop confidence, power, and the technique. So obviously, bag work with Kenpo techniques are super important. It really shows them how to get the mechanics down and how to execute with power. So if they were going to hit someone, they would know what it really would feel like using these target bags. Okay? So again, she's going to, Mrs. Perez here, she'll be in her left neutral bow. And we'll have the arm just straight down in position. We'll say she did a right executor inward block. I just position this here, and she's going to shuffle in and strike. Go. Yeah. Okay, just like that. Just to develop the power, and it's also going to work on the timing of the elbow coming up, working this angle to that corner. So she's working on this angle, she's going to shoot the elbow up to that corner angle. Ready? Go. Yeah. Okay, just like that. And once again, go. Yeah. Executing a push drag or a step drag shuffle to get the launch in. So once I'm here, I'm probably going to use more of a push drag method. But what tends to happen is you're going to find out right away if the student's going on a horizontal plane this way, which is going to minimize their power and their strengths, and they're really more like wrapping around them rather than coming up the diagonal, which is this 45, and then working the 45 here. So working the elbows in the same plane. So my arm is here. I'm going to shoot that elbow. What that also does, it gives me the breaks of not overturning. So if I drop into that wide nail stance, it gives me my breaks, and it also hits my angle. So that way I have an efficient angle to strike with. So again, we're going to take the bag. She's in a neutral bow, and she's going to hit with that angle of incidence on that, getting right to that angle here. Go. Right into it. And again, go. Okay. I would recommend the students do this on right and left side. I do like 10, 20 reps of it. Rotate. Good workout. Good sweat drill, and develops the technique as well. So now let's execute some hammer fists, right? So here's our forearm shot, and then now we're going to execute the hammer. So when we execute the hammer, we're going to start with this position already. That way, when their elbow comes this way, they can drop here, and we're now starting our figure eights. 1, 2, and then we're going to eventually create these figure eights. So when we get this elbow up, we're going to drop this hammer down. So we're going to isolate that with a small target bag. So lock into your forearm first shot. You did 1. Now I just have this bag here. She rotates to the reverse wide nail. Go. And then close nail. And that's now working the pop. So, okay. So what she's doing is she's going to use her stances. Lower belts are also learning how to use the stances to find their center of gravity. So being able to have the hit syndrome, it teaches them how to patiently strike without losing momentum and still gaining power and keeping their center of gravity. So again, bag work works. You can take all 3 with bags, so we can do it by numbers. So we'll go block first. We have, here's a small bag, how you can execute it. We have 1 hit. We have, I adjust, so they take their time. 2 hit. And we have 3 hits. Okay? And that's the idea. All right? I could have a second bag. You can be creative with it as well. But again, it teaches them how to just go boom, boom, boom. And it depends. You might not get through all of that in the first class, to be honest. You have like 20 orange belts or, 15 orange belts, and they're all different age groups. You're going to have to probably work on this for a while. You'll probably get maybe up to this part. Okay, so it might be 1, 2, especially if this is brand new. If you expect this to be a fast class, then maybe you can go through it, work the mirror side of it. Maybe you can adjust the bag. So like for example, if she's in a neutral bow, okay, I can say, okay, forearm shot, ready, go. All right, okay. Now what I could do from here is just have her again, once again, whip the hips and now watch the elbow. And then I can have a second bag here. Let's say I have a second bag and I'll put it in this hand for now. She goes hammer fist and then closed nail stance. Okay? Now we can isolate just the closed nail stance. So she does just the closed nail, go. And just working that. And once again, go. And that's something right there that can be worked on. Just going here. Just picking this, bam, dropping it, bam, and then dropping it. Just keep working it. And it just works that beginner student out where they can understand how to make it work, okay? So bag work's important. Now, if we do isolation, get the inward block. Yes, so when she comes in, I can now execute the inward block. And this is a COVID drill. Basically, if you don't want to make arm-to-arm contact, you can have, first of all, students in a horse stance doing thrusting inward blocks. Isolate, she comes in. I can just block, she comes in. I can block. That idea, right? So, in this case, I got to now teach the student how to step forward without eating the punch. What tends to happen for beginners is they'll step at the same time they block and they end up getting hit. So she comes in, and I do that, I'm going to get hit, right? So I got to teach the student how to execute the block just before I step. When she comes in, then I can add my step because this block is going to be the first thing to make contact to a punch or the attack that's coming at you. So I'm not going to want to step and then block. I'm not going to want to do it at the same time because I might eat that. I really like to shoot the block slightly before the punch comes in, and then I put the body mass in there. So as soon as it comes in, then I let the body rotate back in. Okay? So having just this block executed, leading the front foot has the backup mass of the block. So once I come up here, this block is going to be assisted with the rest of my body coming up. Now, she throws the actual punch. Here, let's switch places.
Yes, sir.
And she throws the right punch. I'm going to, same idea. I'm going to shoot up and then shoot the block here. Okay? Now, if I step at the same time, she's going to collapse my block. Okay? So, once again, I want to shoot prior and then step here. And then I can execute my technique. Checking here, checking there, and checking there. Okay? So, again, that first block is always a challenge, and that's something that has to be broken down and worked and worked and worked on. So I see a lot of times when we step towards the attack, even if we're stepping off the line of attack, we could still eat the punch, and then we have a weak block. So again, it's just working that. It's again. So when she punches, block and step off the line, and then strike it and come in from there. Okay, so there's our ideas for Thundering Hammers. There's some bag drills. What you could do is, if you want to, even for beginners, they could work on sword to the groin and strike to the rib cage, which is, it's that second level. So they're working up the elevator, and then obviously dance to death. We all have heard that before. Dance to death is like the family group of it, right? So with that being said, those are some things you can play with. Those are some drills I do. If I was going to do a wide nail drill and break it down, I would also just use the legs. So let's say her right leg was forward here. I would step here, put my leg and touch her leg. I just put my hands here, shuffle, touch her leg here, reverse wide nail, and then close nail and collapsing her leg. Okay, so that's something that they can work on as well. They can use you can use handbags to develop wide nail stances too. That's another helpful thing. So she puts the bag here. I can do a reverse wide nail. She lowers the bag and my knee has to touch the bag. Here, that tells me, trains me how to get my nail stances in control. I can do it with the back foot as well. So she puts the bag there. I can lower my stance to touch. So if I'm in a fighting stance, I can just pick my heel up and lower it. There's different ways. You can use a noodle. You can use your hand. You can take a piece of paper and do it. Just something to help them develop their stances. But again, just work. Sometimes it's the most simple stuff that's the most complicated or overlooked, I should say, is to make sure that this block shoots while the stepping out of line of attack comes together. So hopefully this helps you guys. That's our beginner version of Thundering Hammers and being able to go over drills. There's a lot more other drills I can go through, but it's going to take too much time to cover everything. But this is the simple way of how to get things started for Thundering Hammers. If you guys have any other questions or comments, leave one below. And guys, we're going to keep strong with these videos. I'm going to keep going. Now that we have some other distractions out of the way, I'm going to be posting even more often on the YouTube videos. So again, thank you guys for all the comments and feedback. I really appreciate it. I love talking to other martial artists. Keep up the good work, guys. I enjoy it. You guys stay safe. Let's finish this year strong. Thank you once again.
Thanks for watching the video. Click on the bell and subscribe to the YouTube channel.